Welcome to the Young Crones Cafe, where you can get a magic brew full of all sorts of information, both witchy and practical.
Grab a cup of coffee and join us. I'm Elizabeth, a wordsmith.
And I'm Dave, a modern-day sage.
We are going to talk about various witchcraft and life topics from a slightly more mature perspective, at least most of the time.
Thanks for joining us.
Here's a little something extra from the Young Crones Cafe to get you through until our next regularly scheduled podcast episode, which hopefully will be on time. I'm sitting here with my cup of coffee this morning, and most of the boxes are unpacked, and we're finally settling back in to home, and it feels pretty good. And I started thinking about what I could share with you guys, and how about some witchy self-care thoughts. For us, as part of the Path tradition, we look at ourselves as having a sacred three of body, mind, and spirit, of course. The body is the physical container for both the mind and the spirit. Because it exists in space and time, it's grounded in existence in the mundane world. This is where we live and work, and time moves in a linear direction from past to present to future. The mundane is where we experience the changes that we generate through magic and spiritual work. The spirit is that internal spark of the divine which lives in each of us, who we really are, and its roots are in the magical world. The magical world exists outside of reality and space and time, so time can be linear or circular or spiral in and out of itself. The magical is where we start to create those personal changes. We can learn to move back and forth between the worlds of the magical and the mundane effectively, and it will live mostly balanced between. We believe it is the mind that is the bridge or interpreter between those other two pieces. The mind is composed of our thoughts and emotions, which are part of both worlds, often simultaneously. We experience emotions because of our needs and desires, whether they are helpful or harmful to us, and are the source of our will when working magic. Our thoughts and ideas are the start of the process of creation and are also how we form intent. In essence, in the magical world, the mind takes our needs and desires along with our ideas and starts the process of creation. It then takes our intent and will into the mundane to manifest new ideas and aspirations that we started in the magical. Self-care is also often thought of as taking care of ourselves physically, and how many of us have heard about a mental health day recently? But as witches, we define self-care as working towards a state of wellness or integration of those three parts of body, mind, and spirit to become those individuals we are meant most to be. While striving to maintain the best balance between these three pieces as much as possible, we also have to consider both the magical and mundane that we walk between. And we believe that what affects one part of us affects all three aspects of our lives as well. So, physical self-care. Of course, eating healthier foods, drinking water, getting some sleep or rest when we need it and not when we have time is important. Do some gentle stretching, especially if you work at a desk or stand around behind some sort of cash register all day long. Take a walk. Do some grounding exercises. And please remember to breathe. However, just for fun, you could dance like no one's watching. Use that breath and sing out loud. Put on your favorite PJs and lounge around, or wrap up in a fuzzy blanket and relax for a few minutes. Make your favorite meal and eat it using your good dishes. Really savor what you're having. Jump in some puddles while you walk in the rain. Go sit in the sunshine and enjoy the warmth, not to mention getting some of that vitamin D that we need for health. Find a playground and swing on a swing or go down a slide like you used to do when you were a kid. Make a picnic for your lunch break at work tomorrow. Open your windows and air out your physical spaces for a change. And try sitting up straight because it makes your breathing easier and it's also good for your back. Now, when you're taking care of your mind, do something creative. Organize a small piece of your personal space. I have discovered that just getting my desk area set up or getting my books back in order makes a real difference about how I process and think. Take a mental health day, which is a trite way of saying just give yourself a break. Take a mental health 15 minutes if that's all you got, and just get away from everything for a second. Learn something new. Change up your routine a little bit, whether it's on the mundane or the magical. Do something a little different and see if it feels pretty good. And now for some fun stuff. Unplug from your electronics for a while so that you can take a break from others' input. Plan your day, figuring out what you need to do, but don't stress if things go off the rails. Having a plan makes our mind function a little bit better sometimes. Spend some time with your favorite hobby or trying something new. Build with Legos like you used to do when you were a kid, making cool shapes or buildings or whatever you can imagine. In fact, I have recently discovered there is such a thing as adult Lego sets. I have an adult grandchild who's totally into everything floral. Go stand somewhere a good breeze can blow through you, taking your stress away. Find things that make you laugh. Watch those cartoons that you used to watch when you were a kid, or find a good comedy to joke through on TV or whatever streaming service or on your phone. Visit a museum in your area and just enjoy the exhibits. You can plan a day trip somewhere you want to go. Give yourself some bonus points if you actually go and take that trip. Finally, self-care for your spirit can include creating a personal meditation practice. Many of us start out with that intent of we're going to meditate all the time, etc., and it never quite works out. Start out with small amounts of time if you want. 10 minutes is just as important. Light a candle or burn some incense as a reminder that the magical is within you and without you all the time. Watch the sunrise and sunset, or the moonrise and moonset for that matter. I tend to do that more than the other way around, usually because I'm too busy when the sun comes up. Write a small ritual that you can celebrate for something important in your everyday life. We think that ritualizing the everyday allows you to become a more balanced witch. Keep an eye out for those synchronicities that we talk about all the time, those unexpected occurrences that may actually have a message for you from the universe. And for fun, write a gratitude list of things, 10 things you value right now, this minute, large or small, serious or amusing. Just find 10 things. Explore your spaces where you live and work and feel the different energies that may be available to you. Take some time alone just to be. Don't meditate, don't watch TV, just find somewhere quiet for a few minutes. Keep a journal about whatever you feel called to write about. You may find that next greatest American novel starting somewhere. Say thank you to those around you who perform small kindnesses and watch the smiles that you get. Look up and see the clouds dancing across the sky. Look down and see the worlds you are moving through. Go outside in the middle of the night, find a star, and relish the dark for a few minutes. They're just as important to your practice as the light. Now, hopefully you've realized that none of these suggestions are particularly complicated, take a great deal of time, or cost a lot of money. If you choose to try some of them, somehow, many of us have gotten the idea that self-care is supposed to be some type of big, important deal we must work really hard to make time for, or spend a great deal of money, or get some personal benefits out of it. However, if a spa day is what makes you happy, go for it. Most of our suggestions don't involve getting wet either. As practicing witches, we work to develop our abilities to walk between the worlds of the magical and the mundane in our daily lives. Taking a few moments each day to take care of at least one aspect of our sacred three helps us with these abilities and to make all our days a bit more fun and witchy in the process. We like to say, may you find mirth and reverence in all things. So go out and have fun and relish the sacred at the same time. And don't beat yourself up if you don't do anything self-care related because you're too busy today. It's fine. We all have those days where we would love to be able to find a way to make good book or go out for coffee with friends, and we have responsibilities. But don't overschedule yourself either. So until next time, may you find mirth and reverence in all things. Well, it looks like the coffee cups are empty for this week. We hope you join us again next Tuesday. But you can find us at our website, 2youngcrones.com. That's the number 2, Young crones.
We'd love to have you join our growing online Discord community. Check out our new Patreon presence. Just look for Young Crones Cafe. Through Patreon, you'll be able to make it to our Discord. We are also Young Crones Cafe on Twitter and Facebook.
Until then, remember, we are witches who work with energies to effect change.
We are believers in both immanent and transcendent divine.
We are celebrants of the passage of the solar and lunar cycles.
We are hedge walkers who pass back and forth between the worlds of the magical and the mundane.
We are seekers of knowledge.
And we are walkers of a spiritual tradition we call the Path.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.